Good morning, everybody. We are going to get started. Happy Friday. I wanted to review really quickly and talk about the Friday 25 meeting, just to kick us off. The purpose of this meeting is that we're bringing the teams together. We've got the property management team on here, the leasing team, the sales and marketing team, and we want to talk about topics happening in the market or around the office, and we want to tie everything back to our core values and the GC Realty experience. Whenever we have the meeting, we want to make sure that we're starting at 9. We got a hard stop at 9:25, so the meeting's always going to be 25 minutes, and want to make sure that you've got headphones on so you don't have to be on mute. 75% of the time, it's going to be Mark or myself talking, and 25% team. So there's going to be a lot of Q&A on the call, especially for today. It's definitely not a forum to hear things for the first time. When we talk about core values and the GC Realty experience, it's absolutely what we do every day. And then also, we really want to have positive vibes on the call. It's Friday. We want to lift people up. So I'm super excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about remarkable experience. And I want to ask you guys a lot about how we do this at GC, but to lead off, just to start talking about core values, Alejandra, can you tell us what our core values are at GC?
Good morning, everyone. So we have 4 core values. First one, responsiveness. Second one, own it. The third one, I believe it's better results. And the last one, whatever it takes.
Good. And what about the GC Realty experience? Kenya, tell us about that.
Good morning, everyone. So we have 3: easy of doing business, a remarkable customer experience, and right customer solutions, if I'm not mistaken.
Good. So today we're going to be really focused on remarkable experience and talking about that. I wanted to read something to you guys to kick things off, and it's something that's hanging in our conference room, and it talks about the GC Realty experience. So the GC Realty experience is simply part of our DNA. You see it in our words, actions, and decisions every single day. We want any GC team member, client, resident, vendor, or anyone that comes in contact with the brand to have the GC Realty experience. We consistently make doing business with us easy by offering the right solutions the first time and leaving everyone with a remarkable customer experience. And it goes into talking about the right solution the first time, ease of doing business. And for remarkable experience, I want to read you what it says as it closes the last part of it, because that's what we're going to talk about today. And I really want everybody to focus on this and think about the work that we all do. So for remarkable experience, it says, we offer responsive and personalized attention to every single person we interact with. We do whatever it takes to exceed expectations with better results. We systematize the predictability so that we can humanize the exceptional. The GC Realty experience is our way of doing business. It is our North Star. By consistently delivering the GC experience, we build trust among our tenants, clients, vendors, and all those who interact with our brand. It drives accountability and collaboration among us, fostering a culture of excellence and constant improvement. You may find it easy to follow in good times, but it's when you're dealing with especially difficult issues that the GC Realty experience shines brightest, separating us from our competitors. It doesn't matter where you sit in the company, you make the GC Realty experience a reality every day. It's something that I really like to read whenever I'm in meetings in the conference room, and it's definitely something that helped bring me and attracted me to come work here. I think that there's something that Mark shared with me recently, and he told me a book that he thought I might like and I should read, called Never Lose a Customer Again. And whenever the book starts, the intro talks about the author's experience with going to a new dentist. And I just love how the book started, because I had the same exact experience with my dentist when I started to go to somebody new several years ago. And yesterday, I needed to take my son to this dentist, and on the way there, it just so happened I was thinking about our meeting today, and I was talking to him about our core values and what they mean to me and why it's important to have core values. And so we have this conversation, proceed to go to the dentist. He seems like he's not very nervous. But we walk in, and just the greeting from the time that you walk in the door is awesome. Like just very friendly. You feel welcome. He got in immediately. The wait time for him in the lobby was 0 seconds. He just immediately got in to see the dentist. The dentist came out and visited me 2 different times during the appointment, and then after the appointment for rescheduling was awesome. They talked about braces, which is a new time. My son's a teenager, and they gave me 3 different referrals and talked to me about each of the orthodontists and why they're offering me these referrals and who's good and in these different cities and where I should go. And it was just I left there feeling really good. They also had Goonies playing on the TV in the lobby, which was really cool. And they talked to me about the stuff they put on the TV. But I think that you know, I compare that to the work that we do. We don't have a ton of people coming into our office, but we do have a ton of people, you know, on the phones with us and texts and emails. So I really thought about, you know, in the book they talk about this guy's experience with the dentist. It was very similar. I've had the same thing every time I've gone into this office, and it's just the way that they do things there. It's terrific. So I really wanted to share that with you guys because I think that at GC, these aren't just things that are on the wall. These aren't just things that are in Notion. I see it every day in the work that we do, and it's just very attractive about the company. It makes me excited to come to work each day. When I think about the people that I get to work with and how they make me feel, and that's something I really want to focus on. So I wanted to open the floor and talk to you guys about who we give remarkable feelings to when you think about clients, residents, anybody that we come in contact with, our vendors, and also each other, to talk about examples of, you know, how do we do that? Kylie.
Yeah, well, obviously, like myself and Maricruz, we talk to our clients every single day. And really what we focus on to make sure that people, you know, feel comfortable with us and feel like they're getting a really good value is we really like to be proactive in our communication, not only with things that they should be aware of. So like, for example, when we had all of those like pipe bursts and emergency work orders back in January, Maricruz and I were going through all the emergency work orders, letting owners know like, hey, this is something just to be aware of. And a lot of those owners got those work order bills at the end of this month. So that just came out of their payout. But it's just so much better to, you know, have them be in the loop on those things rather than if we didn't tell them about it, now they're finding out a month and a half later. So we do that a lot, but we also like to focus on proactive things that are more positive. So like Maricruz will tell owners when we pass like a rental license inspection, which is really great news. And I'll tell owners when their property is being leased. So not every time that they get an email from us, they have to be like scared of it, like, oh no, like what's this? I hope there's not like $1,000 work order. So that's something that we're really focusing on right now to make sure that our clients know that we're on top of things. And when they hear from us, it's not always like poor news, that they're being kept in the loop on all the really positive things with their properties too.
Awesome. Whenever tenants are making a decision about whether they're going to stick with GC and renew their lease, Alejandro, talk to us about some of the conversations that you have with our tenants and you know, the decisions around renewing and providing that remarkable experience.
Yeah, so with renewals, it's interesting. It's always fun to speak with them, and sometimes you just get new conversations, even though I've been doing this for like a year and a half. But most of the, or not most, I'm sorry, a lot of conversations are around maintenance concerns. They let you know, hey, I created a work order because my sink was leaking and nothing has been taken care of yet. Or maybe they said it was fixed, but no one checked to see if it was actually fixed. Maybe something happened with the upstairs unit and they didn't come out and fix my unit, which is what happened in a case recently. In those cases, what I do is I try to figure out what happened while I have them on the phone call. And while I'm speaking with them, I tell them what I'm going to be doing, and I just let them know, oh, okay, well, let me just check it out, and I'll just leave you in the limbo and just get in contact with you whenever I have the opportunity. I let them know, hey, this is what I checked. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, or feel free to let me know of your side of the story so they're actually heard as well. And then I let them know, okay, I'm going to be getting in contact with maintenance. I'm going to be helping you create the work order so it's not a hassle for you. And I always try to leave on a positive note and not just make them feel like whenever I call them, it's just like, oh, he's just going to ask me to renew my lease. I want to generate that trust and that ease of speaking with them, because sometimes it's not easy to just call them when they're having an issue, and I want them to do something for me.
Awesome. So what about before somebody makes the decision to be renting a unit and working with GC? Ashley, can you tell us a little bit about, somebody's first interaction with GC, or meeting somebody and doing a showing, and how we might provide that remarkable experience?
Sure. So since we're on the front end, we're usually going to be very responsive. And what also sticks out is remarkable customer service. So usually they're emailing, texting, or calling us, or doing leads through Shay. So we just want to be very responsive on the front part, like, hey, this is our link, or this is how you would schedule a showing. I think that's very helpful, because a lot in the field, what I hear a lot is that a lot of companies don't have people that's as attentive as we are at GC, and they don't respond to emails or any like Zillow ads or any of those things, just to get them even out to see the show or schedule a showing. So some of the things that we do, we love 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗍. That system is very helpful. It gives them, you're able to go right into it and schedule a showing. They get a reminder. If they never even schedule the showing, they get like another reminder, hey, we thought you were interested. So we do a lot of communication with them, or a lot of automation with them. And I think that's very helpful, and leaves them in a good spirit. And then when they actually come to see our units in person, we give them all the information they need right there. Everything is in our marketing. We're very responsible if they have questions. So I feel like they do get a good experience because we gave them the information that they needed.
Awesome.
Andy, can I piggyback on what Ashley just said?
Yep.
Yeah, I talk to people about this a lot, how I think that, because people will ask, like, how are you guys marketing things differently, or how is your leasing team doing things differently to get things rented up faster, get higher quality tenants or whatever? And obviously there's the answer of, well, we use 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗍 to syndicate across a variety of platforms, yada, yada, yada. But then the response is always like, well, yeah, everybody's doing that though. And I mean, I think that Ashley kind of nailed it. It's just responding when people call. It's kind of a minor thing, but from a remarkable customer service experience, it's like if we just pick up the phone when potential leads call or get them to the right place, like that's already going to get the property moved faster. And then from a client's perspective, that's going to start getting them rental income faster, which is why even in like these winter months, if you ask Michelle, like our list date to applicant move-in date is dramatically lower than most people's. And I know this because sometimes when I go to actually reach out to somebody maybe that is putting their place for rent by owner, or another previous property management company, sometimes I'll go to the Zillow listing or the MLS listing and call the number that's on the active listing, because I'm trying to like get a hold of the person. And people never respond. I'll call them, text them, email them. It takes like days to respond. And I just know that when they call us, every single time I call Ashley, she picks up the phone literally like in the first 2 rings. Or Michelle, who I know has hectic days, I'll chat her and she'll respond with a whole ass rental analysis. So it's just kind of like, I think that part of the remarkable customer service piece of it is just truly being responsive,
Absolutely. One thing that really stood out to me in what I had read is the section where it says, you may find it easy to follow in good times, but it's when you're dealing with especially difficult issues that GC Realty experience shines brightest, separating us from our competitors. And I think about something that Kyle had done recently, where he was working with somebody around maintenance issues in the property that we couldn't necessarily fix ourselves. There was an HOA involved, and we're trying to get things done. We're trying to work with the tenant and be supportive, but it was a bad situation that he was working on, and ultimately Kyle, do you want to share what we had done or what we had sent just to try and address the issue?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know which one you're talking about. We sent flowers to her. You know, that simple little gesture just to help show that we understand and, you know, appreciate her as one of the tenants in that building, even though it's something out of our control, and, you know, all the avenues that we're trying to do to help her in her complicated situation with repairs needed by the HOA, and just seeing through with it. You know, I went out there, Kylie's went out there with me, you know, showing that care with the property, and just knowing that it's hard to see her go through this, but like, we're here for that support if you need it. You know, she has my direct line to like reach me directly from Vonage, so like she doesn't have to go through all the channels to normally do that. So just something out of the ordinary situation to take care and give her that remarkable service that we can provide here at GC within our control.
Absolutely. I think that, you know, we have to keep in mind that on the other end of the four groups, you know, each other, clients, tenants, vendors, etc., people that we interact with, you know, on the other end is a person, and maybe they're a parent, maybe they're an employee, they're a son or a daughter, maybe they're struggling, maybe they're hurting, you know, maybe they're going places, you know, and our interactions mean a lot to that person. And we have to think about, you know, like how we want to show up in the person's life. How can we make a difference? I know personally for me, I was a little bit sick recently for like a week, and the way that my coworkers interacted with me or supported me or helped me or just kind of understood where things are at, like, it definitely made a difference. And you remember stuff like that because, you know, we all have a lot of things we have to do, but, you know, sometimes it's tough if you're feeling that way. So I don't know, for me, like, there's so many people that I worked with in my career, not just coworkers, but vendors and just people who go above and beyond, and just the remarkable experience that I had in working with people. I think that you always remember that. Sometimes you have these relationships with people that you work with, where someone might text me today and be like, "Hey, thinking about you, just seeing how you're doing," that maybe I worked with like 6 or 7 years ago. Or maybe a vendor. I literally have vendors that do that as well, and I always think that that's cool. But I think for me, you know, I've definitely embraced this about GC, and I just want to make sure that everybody on the call, you know, is on board with that. And you know, I think all of us here want to have good experiences and good interactions. I mean, who on the call feels good, you know, walking away if they have a bad experience or an average experience? Does anybody have any comments about that?
Well, I guess there's a question, Andy, like, who wants to walk away when they have a bad experience, or how do you feel when you walk away?
Yeah, I mean,
from a
I
bad
think the
experience?
difference, right? What's the difference between having that remarkable experience versus just, I don't know.
Well, I think you're deplorable, right? Like, if you're in a situation where you feel like anybody could do what my PM company is doing, then I could be easily sold by another PM company. I mean, this is literally how we get a bunch of our clients. People don't feel like attached emotionally or otherwise to another PM company, and they feel like anybody could do it. That's why, like, the part of that, and I'm sorry that I'm kind of rambling here, but that part of that thing that you read earlier, Andy, that was systematize the predictable and humanize the exceptional. Like, I think that systematizing the things that are predictable is great. And I think that sometimes there's things that are predictable that the clients don't even know are predictable. Like, anytime that I tell people that 4 months in advance, we're doing a full market analysis on a property so that we're ready to hit the ground running whenever we know what the tenant's going to say, they're like, "Oh my God, you guys are doing that way ahead of time." Like, I usually, like, in the days leading up to it, I try to figure out how much it might rent for. You know, it's things like that where it's like, we know people are going to move out. So having the system in place impresses people. And then humanizing the exceptional, like the one-off scenarios. Michelle does this all the time, where it'll be like, yeah, this is within the system on our matrix, but this is kind of a unique situation, so I want to treat it delicately on behalf of the client. So I really like that part of that. I don't know if that's on the website that you read from, Andy, but that little blurb.
Yeah, I think what I really want to think about today is what can we do as a group today to leave people with this remarkable feeling. And remember, this isn't just about clients or tenants; it's each other, it's our vendors. So Gabe, I know that you have a couple of really important monthly calls with 2 different 12+ clients today. So I know that you've been working recently together with Lauren, and you really want to make sure that you have these this experiential communication with the client, meaning it's not just, this is how many work orders you had, this is what your return is, this is what your delinquency rate is, thank you, have a nice weekend. Like, there's just so much more to it. And I think that you guys are just really building on that. I hear it with the clients. And recently you guys had talked to somebody, and at the end of the call, she said, happy Super Bowl. You guys were talking about the Super Bowl and the weekend coming up. And I think that when you have this communication, it just really builds about, the things that we talk about with clients and the information that we have to deliver. But there's also the connection that you have with them, the human connection. So talk to me about that a little bit, Gabe. You got a couple calls coming up. You got to get ready for those. Talk to me about the remarkable experience with working with clients.
Yeah. So the one thing that comes to mind is Mr. Gambetti at Marquette. He had some problems with the gas service, big bills with that, some frozen pipes, just an altogether bad situation. And he's been wanting to get out of the property. He's been wanting to sell them. So I'm responsible for getting work orders approved and letting folks know about maintenance emergencies at their properties. And previously, before his pipes froze, he had these gas issues. His maintenance was kind of high. He was kind of upset at the deferred maintenance of the property. So I'm like, Jesse, like I am treating this as if this were my own property. Like, it sucks. We're going to get through it. This is what we have to do. I will update you every step of the way, but I just need your blessing to proceed with this. And it's just showing them that, like, you have a stake in the game and that your interests are completely aligned with them. And you're thinking what they're thinking. You always want to be 2 steps ahead, and just letting them know that you have all of their interests in mind with the decisions that you make just puts them in a better place.
Sure. When I think about the part about being able to deliver the remarkable experience during tougher times, I think about a lot of the work that Kristen has done. We created a high risk app in Podio to address escalations and things that presented risk last spring. So it's been about a year, and Kristen has just had so many interactions with people where we need to provide the GC Realty experience during really tough times. These are escalations where a tenant might be upset or a client might be upset, and we really need to turn things around. And I know Kristen has had a lot of experience with that, and kind of leading the charge to, address these issues as quickly as we can, and try and show people that GC is going to take care of them even during really tough times. Kristen, is there anything that that really stands out to you in the number of calls that you've had in these situations for high risk, whether it's with a tenant or a client, where you really were able to turn things around just by being supportive around what was happening and solving the problem for them?
I think a lot of it is, and several other people have mentioned this already, a lot of it has to do with being responsive. Not dropping the ball, communicating with them even more than, once a day, letting them know that you're a human being and you have a family and you understand their situation, just trying to relate to them. So it kind of makes them feel like they're part of the GC family as well. I mean, whether it's a client or whether it's a tenant, so they understand, that we're all here working together. So that's, I think a lot of it's just, they know that we're going to respond to their email, that we're going to take their call, that we're going to get back to them when we tell them that we're going to. And I think that causes the, this is the ease of doing business with GC.
Absolutely. It's definitely, it's not as easy to do when things are hard, but that's when people need us the most. And I think, working as a team and making sure that we communicate about, hey, this is an escalation. I might want to let my manager know about this, and we need to get on top of it and try and resolve it as quickly as we can. We're really focused on that this quarter, and really for the whole year. I've seen the team making just massive improvements with that, just working together with leasing, property management, sales, and marketing. I feel like it's really contagious with this team. I love where we're headed. So to close things out for today, I really want you guys to try working on this. I want everybody to go above and beyond for what would normally be a stopping point in an interaction and take it a step further. So I'd really like everybody on the call today to please, by the end of the day, shoot an email to me and Mark on something that you did and how it made someone else feel and how it made you feel just around the remarkable experience. You know, it could be with a client, it could be with a tenant, it could be with each other, it could be with a vendor. But if anybody has any questions on that, please let me know offline. I want to wrap things up because we're at our 25-minute mark. But I really want to thank everybody for joining us today. I think it was an awesome topic of conversation, and I appreciate everybody's feedback. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.